right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Strong to severe thunderstorms are possible tomorrow across the region. Tuesday is a weather first storm alert day as we track thunderstorm development.
Holy moly! A giant crater forms along an Illinois highway. Tonight, the growing concerns about coal mining in the community. A family trapped inside their wrecked car.
Car was so smashed up and they was just coming out screaming.
Tonight, we're hearing from the security guard who came to their rescue. Weather first tonight at 10. It's a very warm spring evening across the bi-state. The calm before the storms. Tomorrow will be a storm alert day. Good evening. I'm Mike Bush. Kelly Jackson has the night off. There are a few storms in the area tonight, but they're not severe. The possibility of severe weather is greater tomorrow afternoon and into the evening. Let's get straight over to Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell, who's tracking it all with the Weather First forecast.
Yeah, those storms this evening, Mike, while they did produce some small hail, they've generally fizzled out across the area. That's going to leave us settled for the rest of the overnight hours. But we are talking about a mild and muggy, especially for April kind of night. Dew point temperatures are back into the lower 60s right now. Our main storm threat is Tuesday from 2 until 10 o'clock. And severe thunderstorms are possible as we head into tomorrow afternoon. Here's the radar over the last 3 hours. You see those storms down to our south and southwest. Yes, Cedar Hill back to Dittmer over to Lonedale. You had some small hail, maybe even up to about nickel size in a couple of those cells, but they've weakened now. Warm fronts lifting to the north. The focus is out to our west tonight. Just starting to see some development into Kansas. It's a little later than what we were thinking for that development, which means tomorrow we may shift the timing just a little bit, but we don't think we're going to have an active morning for sure. Our storm alert time frame is really after lunchtime into the evening. So tomorrow morning's commute likely to be mainly cloudy. There might be a few spritzes or brief showers, but the main threat of any strong to severe thunderstorms will probably happen in the metro area from about 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock. But not everybody's going to get severe weather tomorrow. What we all will see, gusty winds. They'll gust 35, maybe 40 miles per hour. That's outside and away from any thunderstorms. We'll track it out and time it out with Futurecast Mike in just a few minutes.
And it's easy to stay alert tomorrow. You can text the word weather to 314-425-5355 to get the latest Weather First forecast sent to your phone. We're following breaking news out of Farmington, Missouri. Police are looking for a 5-year-old boy who may be in the St. Louis area right now. Investigators say the child, Oliver Patrick Sower, was taken by 38-year-old Josh Sower from the St. Francis Medical Center against medical advice and without receiving treatment. He was driving a silver Chrysler Town & Country minivan and was last seen near Weber Road and Dana Avenue in South St. Louis County. The car has Missouri plates bearing RE5F3U. If you see them, you're asked to call police. Just minutes ago, we learned charges were filed for today's standoff at St. Charles City Hall. 42-year-old Terrence Mahone of O'Fallon, Missouri, is charged with the unlawful use of a weapon. Investigators say he was hiding in a woman's car in the lower level of the parking garage. When she screamed, he fired a shot. Mahone was eventually taken into custody. No one was physically hurt. Police say it all stemmed from a family disagreement. Tonight, a woman faces child endangerment charges accused of being passed out in the backseat of a car while her 8-year-old son drove down a downtown street the wrong way. A 3-year-old was also in the backseat. This happened early this morning in the area of 4th and Walnut, just a block away from Ballpark Village. 28-year-old LaTanya Mays Gale is being held without bond at the St. Louis City Justice Center. Law enforcement sources tell 5 on your side she was drunk and allowed her son to drive. New tonight, a St. Louis security guard is telling us how she ran to help a family after a horrific 2-car crash in East St. Louis Saturday night. Our Robert Townsend spoke with the Good Samaritan just hours ago about the daring rescue. Robert.
Mike, Keosha Tillman has been a security guard for 8 years. She says when she saw children trapped in the crumpled car, she instantly sprung into action. A routine ride to take a friend home.
I have kids of my own. You know, as I'm sitting here talking to you, my heart is just pounding right now.
Suddenly took a heart-racing turn for Keosha Tillman.
We ran over debris and we realized that it was a car accident, a really bad car accident.
It happened on State Street in East St. Louis around midnight Saturday. Tillman says a woman in a black SUV told her a man sped down the street, hit the back of her car, and pushed her across a median to the opposite lanes.
The car was so smashed up and they was just coming out screaming. I just immediately hurried up and ran over to the kids to be able to help them out the car because they were falling out of the car.
She says 4 boys, approximately 12 to 16 years old, were sitting in the back seat. The driver, possibly their aunt, quickly got 2 of the kids out. Tillman helped the other boys get to a safe, grassy area.
They was complaining about their back hurt, so the first thing I knew was lay them on their side. Don't let them lay flat on their back. And one little child was said that he was really extremely cold, so we had blanket and wrapped a blanket around the kid.
Her friend called 911 and tried to redirect oncoming drivers.
It was just really, really, really sad moment.
Witnesses told police after the male driver collided with the family's car, the man tried to leave the scene but crashed into the Clyde C. Jordan Senior Citizen Center. Police and paramedics then showed up.
They surrounded the car. He was hurt.
The security guard turned Good Samaritan is relieved the family wasn't seriously hurt.
Man, it's good that we got good people in the city still.
I feel really good about helping that family out.
Ricky Eastern says on Thursday he will ask his fellow East St. Louis Township Board members to consider honoring Tillman with a special award for helping those crash victims.
Tonight, an arrest warrant is out for a child use specialist accused of giving THC gummies to 2 teens at the St. Louis Juvenile Detention Center. Patrick Demetrius Harris faces several child endangerment charges. Both of the teens had to be hospitalized. A judge has awarded a former St. Louis police officer who was beaten by colleagues while working undercover more than $23 million. Luther Hall sued 3 of those officers for the 2017 beating during the Jason Stockley protests. The judge awarded the default judgment after Randy Hayes, who's serving prison time, did not respond. Hall previously settled a $5 million lawsuit with the city. Several pro-Palestinian protests were held across the country today, calling for the end to military action inside Gaza. One group shut down the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. Another caused massive backups at Chicago's O'Hare Airport. Here in St. Charles, police arrested 8 people who protested outside the Boeing building. Tonight, the White House and the world are watching and waiting for Israel's next move after Iran's unprecedented attack this weekend. The U.S. joined Israel and other allies in successfully shooting down nearly all of the 300-plus missiles and drones that were launched. President Biden is seeking to stave off a wider regional conflict. Tonight, people here in the bi-state are grappling with the potential fallout. Our Annie Krall spoke with both Jewish and Iranian-American leaders. Annie?
Mike, it's just the latest chapter in the decades of tension between those 2 nations. But those with family on both sides tell me this weekend's attacks felt different.
The day before Iranian drone and missile attacks Saturday, Jewish Federation of St. Louis President Brian Herzig was grounded in Israel, his flight home delayed for several hours.
I was on WhatsApp with several friends, family, our guide that we had just left a couple of days before, kind of getting real-time updates on what was going on. And it was clear that people were prepared.
He spent almost a week across the country meeting with Israeli colleagues and families of those lost or still being held hostage in the war with Hamas.
I don't think that people there expected a direct attack from Iran, which it has not done since the Ayatollah took over in 1979, and not to that magnitude of 300 drones and 100 missiles. The sheer number really probably was striking.
Iranian leaders say as far as they're concerned, the matter is now over, calling its attacks retaliation for an Israeli airstrike on the Iranian embassy compound in Syria on April 1st, killing 2 generals and 5 officers. Some Iranian Americans calling this weekend's attacks
a childish thing that they just did, just to show power or poke at Israel. That could be detrimental to the innocent people of Iran and everybody in that region.
Donya Ziraksari, an Iranian author, activist, and engineer, continues to combat the stigma between her home country and the Islamic Republic, which the U.S. State Department calls a dangerous anti-Western religious government.
In an Iranian, house, you immediately feel welcome, immediately feel wanted and loved and cared for. So Iranian people, Persian people are absolutely not the same as the Islamic Republic.
Congresswoman Cori Bush condemned the attacks as well as calls for further retaliation. Senator Josh Hawley also reacting on social media with, quote, "Now more than ever, America must stand unequivocally with Israel." Mike?
Red light and speed cameras are returning to the streets of St. Louis, and that means drivers could soon start seeing tickets showing up in their mailbox. The Board of Aldermen approved the plan today to combat reckless driving. It comes in the wake of recent devastating high-speed crashes. The last time the city installed these cameras, courts struck them down as unconstitutional. City leaders say they expect another legal battle. Tonight, a giant sinkhole is blocking an Illinois highway. The large crater is located on Route 185 between Hillsborough and Coffeen, and experts say it's due to a coal mine. New tonight, 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski and photojournalist Jimmy Kruko give us a bird's eye view of the crater that's still growing.
If you're driving down Route 185 in Illinois, you might notice some detour signs near Hillsborough and Coffeen, and it's all because of this. The Illinois Department of Natural Resources says late last week, a reclaimed borehole shaft previously used by the Deer Run mine collapsed, creating a large sinkhole.
There's movement throughout, so, each time you come out, you see that it might have gotten a little bit larger.
A volunteer who keeps an eye on coal mining issues at the Illinois Sierra Club says at one time those boreholes were used to control and monitor an underground fire in the coal mine.
At the beginning of this underground fire that was spreading, they couldn't control it. They used a lot of water, but then that wasn't working. So they used nitrogen to suffocate the mine. Well, they needed places to pump that in and get more concrete down below.
Because the mine subsidence is so close to the road, the Illinois Department of Transportation had to close off about 4 miles of Route 185.
As interesting as it may be, we don't want to have an influx of people coming out looking at it because it is a serious situation.
The Montgomery County Emergency Management Agency escorted us out there safely so we could look at it for you. But it's nothing new for area farmers who've been dealing with mine subsidence issues for years.
Farmers say they've lost more topsoil due to longwall mining erosion in the last 4 years than in the decades of their family farm. And that is heartbreaking and wrong.
EMA Deputy Director Dan Huff says you can expect detours for the foreseeable future.
It's not going to be open until there's been a clean bill of health on this road.
Reporting in Montgomery County, Laura Barczewski, 5 on your side.
And 5 on your side reached out to the owners of the mine, Foresight Energy, and we have yet to hear back.